Yes? No?
Is it 1?
Yes, it's 1. So the A value is actually 1. So for number 4, the vertex is, let's do this. So for number 1, the vertex is, for number 4, sorry, the vertex would be 7, 8, 4. Let me erase this. Hold on, guys. So the vertex will be 7, 8, 4. Vertex will be 7, 8, 4. You see that? And then A will be 1. So whenever there's a number here for A, okay, any questions? Any questions, guys? Okay, so let's move on. So today we're going to do some practice. So I'm going to have you guys practice this problem. How do we write the equation of a graph in vertex form? So this is what we're going to be doing. And you guys are actually going to be doing this yourself. For some of you, you might need a little helping hand. So I'm going to be guiding you with steps. Some of you may not need the steps. If you do not need the steps, you can just go ahead and do the problem. But let's talk about the first step. Whenever you have a graph and they want you to write vertex form. So let's talk about step 1. So step 1, this is what you're supposed to do. Find the vertex and plug it in the formula. And plug it in. So this is step 1. So I'm going to let you guys work on this step. So let me write down the equation. So the equation says y equals, you can say f of x equals, it doesn't really matter, a parenthesis x minus h squared plus k. So what I want you guys to do for step 1 is figure out the vertex from the graph. And you're going to replace that for your h and k, just like what you did. So I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to work on that. Now, if you already know what you're doing and you do not need this extra help, then yes, by every means, just go ahead and do the problem. But if you need a little bit of support moving from one step to another, then yes, just stick with me and I'll walk you through. Yes, I'll give you guys a couple of minutes, like 2-3 minutes to work on this. And once you guys are done, then we'll move on to the next step. Now, why are we doing step 1? If there's anything you do not understand, please do not just sit down and be quiet. You can either put something on the chart or you can just come out and ask questions. But don't just sit down, guys. With math, it builds. What we do today, you will need it for tomorrow. What that means, if you do not understand the material for today, tomorrow is going to be more confusing. And by the time you know it, it becomes chaotic. So please help us so we can help you by telling us what you understand and what you do not understand. Okay, because we cannot read your minds, guys. So let me know, let us know. You can either put something on the chart or you can just unmute yourself and speak out.
Okay, so wish I could. I know how to draw a graph. I wish I could draw a graph to represent it. Draw a graph to represent it.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So for the first step, you know how you kept saying the H has to be like switched or whatever?
Yes.
So when we plug in the numbers, it still has to be switched, right?
So that's a good question. When you plug in, it will automatically switch for itself. It's only when you try and get the vertex from the equation, that's when you gotta switch it yourself. But that's a very good question, and I think I did not mention that. When you plug in numbers, don't worry about it will automatically do it. Do you get it?
And where you know where it says -4 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
So we can just pick between those points, right? It doesn't matter.
No. One of those points is the vertex. So it has to be the vertex that you plug in first. So if you look at the vertex, and that's another good question, the vertex is the very bottom of the graph if it's opening up. If it's opening down, is the very top. So if you look at, and sometimes they may not even give you the vertex. Can you see I'm kind of wiggling right there? Can you see where I'm wiggling?
Yes.
That's where the vertex will be. Not this one. This is not the vertex. This is not the vertex. The vertex is right down here. This is what you will plug in. So one more time, whenever you hear the word vertex, it's the very bottom of the graph or the very top of the graph, depending on how the graph opens.
Okay.
You get it?
Okay.
So now tell me, what would you plug in for the vertex?
-4 and 3.
Excellent. You got it.
What? I didn't even hear.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, we'll give you one more minute before we go ahead and plug in and move on to the next step.
Why is life so hard sometimes? I don't know how to do it.
Actually, 30 seconds. We actually run out of time. We have about 26 minutes left. We want to make sure everyone can log into test now. So. Okay. So let's go ahead and go over this step. So you want to plug in the vertex. And can somebody walk us through this step? So we already said the vertex is what?
-4 and 3.
Exactly. And that'll be your H and K. So you want to go to the formula, and you're going to plug in H and K with -4 and 3. So let's do that. So we got Y equals A parenthesis. So now, so I don't know who I spoke to earlier regarding the formula. When you plug in, it will automatically adjust for itself. So this is exactly what I mean. When I plug in the -4, look what's going to happen. It will be minus and a negative. And what happens to the sign?
Positive.
Positive.
It changes to +4. So when you plug into the equation, you don't need to worry. It will automatically adjust for itself. It's only when you take out the vertex from the formula or the equation, that's when you got to be careful.
Wait, but didn't you just switch the signs?
Right, I switched it. So And I think that's what you were trying. But the reason why we switch it, so I kind of skipped that step, but let me go over that again. Because I want you to know why we switched the sign. So if you look at this, it will be x minus, right? And what is h?
It's 4.
Is what?
4.
Not 4, but?
Oh, -4.
Exactly. It will be minus -4. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
And then this will be squared plus 3. So look what happens. Whenever you have a minus and a negative, what happens to the sign?
It turns into a positive.
That's the reason why. So I kind of skipped that step. But again, if you need to write this step to help you out, that's fine. So, and that's the reason why when we find the vertex from the equation, whenever this is positive, it means there was a negative number that was plugged in, because that's the only way the sign changes to positive. So if I was writing the vertex from here, from this equation, I know this has to be -4 because, you see, because it has to be -4 for this sign to change. But when you plug in, it will automatically do it for itself, because we know minus and a negative will turn to +4. Okay, that's what I meant by it will automatically switch for itself. Does that help?
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
And who was that speaking? Sorry, I'm trying to. Who was that speaking? Can you let me know your name, please, 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 please?
Oh, are you talking about right now?
Yeah, right now. Yeah.
Janae.
Okay, that was Janae. Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I can't really see who is talking from my screen. Okay. Okay, so once we've done this, step 2. So we kind of running out of time now. So let's do step 2. So that's step 1. Plug in the vertex. Step 2. Okay, so everyone ready for step 2? Find the value of A by plugging in a point for X and Y. So the next step, you want to go back to the graph and find a point. Okay? So a point basically means you look at the graph, the curve, and see if you can find a point on that curve that has exact values. Again, do not pick a point that will give you values that you will have to estimate. That will be a problem, because it doesn't matter how good your estimation will be, it will not give you the right answer. So what we want to do, can somebody tell us a point in this graph?
-3 and 6.
Thank you so much. It's already been given to us. But you can actually, you could have also used this point. Let me show you another point. So this is another point that I could have used right here. That one will give me exact values. So when you find a point, you got to be careful. Make sure the point intersects the lines. Okay, so you can get exact values. So it doesn't matter what point you use, the answers will pretty much will come out the same. But because they've given us a point, we're going to use this point. So what I want you to do next, take this point. The point is -3 and 6. So take this point, you're going to plug that back in. So you plug in 2 things in. You plug in the vertex, and then you want to plug in a point on the graph other than the vertex. It cannot be the vertex twice. The vertex the first time, and then another point other than the vertex. Plug that in, and that will let us find our A value. So can you guys go ahead and try that? So you're going to take our X and Y, and plug those 2 points in and solve for A. So that will be step 2.
Oh, that. Okay. great. Just less than 20 minutes. This always happens. Read the little bad message.
Okay, so I'm kind of rushing a little bit because we run out of time. So let's go ahead and plug in the point. Did everyone try to plug in the point and find the value of A? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do that. So can somebody tell us, so now what do we do? Take out Y and what do we plug in for Y?
6? No.
Thank you so much. 6, yes. Equals A, parenthesis. And what do we plug in for X?
-3.
Very good. -3 or -3. Good. Plus 4 squared plus 3. This is a parenthesis, by the way. Now, once you've done this, always simplify what's in the parenthesis first. So what is -3 plus 4?
1.
Thank you, 1. So once you've done that, put the square and then put the A right here equals 6 and then plus 3. Next step, we're going to now square. So because you want to square first before you multiply times A. PEMDAS, parenthesis, exponents, and then multiplication. So now we do 1 squared. What is 1 squared equals?
1.
And what is 1 times A?
A, just 1.
Okay. Yes. Some of you might say 1A, but 1A is the same thing as A. You see that? So this becomes a simple equation. Can everyone see this as a simple equation? The reason why we do this, we're trying to find A. Can somebody tell us how do we find A now?
They can't hear you.
Wait, Brandy, don't say anything. Brandy, stop. Don't say anything. What are the rest doing? Brandy is the only one answering the question. Where's Malachi?
You subtract 3 on both sides. Right?
Exactly.
Thank you.
Cancel it out.
Thank you so much, guys. So we don't want Brandy to just be, I want everyone to be involved. And what is 6 minus 3?
3.
3. Thank you. So A is equals 3. So we just found the value of A. So A is 3. And then we also know the vertex is what? So if we go back and look at the vertex, that would be -4, 3, right?
Yeah.
-4. So now we have the vertex and we know what the A value is. Then guess what? We can just go ahead and write the equation. So let's go ahead and write the equation. So the reason why we plug in the point, that will let us find the value of A. So even though we know the vertex, we need to find the value of A for us to write the equation. And that's why we needed to plug in the vertex and a point. And that will let us find A.
Where is
Yes. Yes, India.
I wasn't talking.
Oh, okay. So once we've done that, now we can go ahead and write the equation out. The equation, let me write down the formula first. X minus H squared plus K. So,
I said, where did you get -4 from the vertex?
oh, that was the vertex. You remember the vertex right here? Kind of wiggly rounded. This is a vertex.
Thank you
And it's down here. So because whenever you write an equation in vertex form, there's 2 things you need. You need the vertex and what? Can you tell us? We need the vertex and?
The A.
The A, thank you. So the vertex we already know, and we did all of this work right here to find A. Now that we have A and the vertex, now we can write the equation out. So let's go ahead and write the equation. So y equals a is 3, parenthesis, x minus -4, which is positive 4. We already went over that. Squared plus 3. And that'll be a final equation of the parabola. Okay? So guys, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to be posting this assignment. So just one problem that I would be posting, and this is due, I'm going to have it due till midnight. So I want you to practice just one problem today, because math comes, it's a lot of practice in math. That's how you get better. So I'm going to have you guys do this problem. But let me just make sure everyone is fine. Can somebody tell us what's the vertex of this equation?
2 and 1. 2, 1.
Is it 2, 1?
3 minus 2, right? No, I mean
vertex. What do we call the vertex? The highest point or the lowest point? The mountain or the valley is the vertex.
So it's 2.
So look at the graph and read the point.
X equal 1.
Okay, so the vertex has x and y. So Brady almost got it, but I think you mixed the numbers up. Remember, the x values should always be first and then the y second. India, you want to answer that? I saw you. No? Yes?
Is it 1, 2?
It's 1, 2, yes. And I think Brady said 2, 1. So we got to be careful. If you look at here, the x value right here is 1. Because this is our vertex right here. This is the vertex. Can everyone see? That's the vertex. And this vertex has x1, y equals 2 right here. You all see that? So the vertex will be 1, 2. How do you give us a point?
3, -2.
Thank you. That's one of the points. So actually, this problem is very generous. They gave you another point. What's another point they gave you?
2, -2, 1. Just 2, 1.
2, 1. So you have the option to use either 2, 1 or 3, -2. And again, it doesn't matter which point you use. Your answers will be what? Your answers will always come out there
the same.
The same. So don't be afraid. Say, oh, should I use the first point or the second one? It doesn't matter. The answers are supposed to come out the same. Okay. So I just wanted to give you guys a little hint and help. So you have to use the vertex and you have to pick one of these points and just follow through. Okay. Dr. E will actually post some of these notes as well on Google Classroom. If there's anything you're not sure, just look through.
It's already on Google Classroom.
Oh, it's already been posted. So you guys have
the notes is already on Google Classroom, the homework.
Okay, so this will be the homework, and it's just gonna be one problem. So I don't want to overwhelm you guys with too many problems. So I'll just give you one for now, so I can know where you guys are. And then tomorrow, let's talk about tomorrow, guys. So tomorrow we'll be doing the diagnostic test from the county, and it will be done